Enjoy your holiday season with CBC British Columbia.
Hi, this is Kate Bush here, and I'd like to wish everyone out there in Canada a very happy Christmas and a great New Year. And thank you for all of you for your continual support and care.
Hi, I'm Lee Aaron. Have you heard the news? There's Good Rockin' Tonight.
Ho, 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 everyone. And welcome to show number 137 of Good Rockin' Tonight. It is that magic time of year. No, not that time. Tax refunds aren't until April. No, I'm talking about that special time of year when the two most common expressions in the free world are Merry Christmas and I thought you bought the batteries. That's right, Christmas time. And tonight, Good Rockin' keeps you in the cold, so to speak, with our Christmas show. Christmas greetings from your favorites and, of course, Christmas music.
For Christmas. The album, the hat. The album, the hat.
It's
the
all
big,
there.
the band,
the big,
the boom.
The boom of it all. Buy it, wear it.
Live it.
Live it.
Hello everyone, I'm Tom.
I'm Alana.
I'm Joe. We're the Thompson Twins.
Now, come to our concerts.
Buy our records.
Wear our t-shirts.
Or I'll shoot your kneecaps off.
Rip your ears off.
And kiss your brains out.
So there.
Hi, this is Sheena Easton, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I always remember the years in Calgary when I was trying to get things going and things just weren't happening at all. And I actually spent a Christmas very much the same as a Charlie Brown Christmas with the little wilted tree and no presents or anything.
Oh.
But things have changed, folks. But I remember that, like, because I couldn't even afford to go home, you know, to see the folks or presents or anything, so it was a bit of a weird feeling about
Now you got a big wilted tree, right?
But, you know, that's a memory that is still there, having a real nothing Christmas.
I think my Mustang bike when I was 5 years old, that was the ultimate gift for a kid my age to get.
Banana seat?
Banana seat,
21?
that's it. It was, you know, the
21.
V-Hell. 21, yeah, I finally got one. I didn't get my license till I was 25.
With the Baroom thing in it?
You're only
24
That's right.
Yeah. That was a big
That was
Christmas
it, the Mustang bicycle. Thanks, Mom. Dad, it was a big thing.
You still got that?
I still do. I still like to peel around.
I'd have to say my first bass and amp, and it was kind of a joke actually when I look at it now. But you know, it was one of these things that you buy for it's a combo set for $59 or something from Sears, and it's got a little speaker in it. But it had 4 strings and it had a speaker and it made some racket. So I was just totally blown away. Went downstairs and didn't come up for a couple of years. It was big.
I remember my first stereo phonographic record player, and laid down on the floor with my hands across my chest and listened to Jimi Hendrix.
Backwards.
And that was pretty out of sight then, because it was went from mono to stereo, and it was quite enlightening. And when Hendrix's records kind of did a lot of left and right and panning stereo, and that was a big revelation for me in their music. I can remember that one pretty good. A little silver tone, I think it was, white with speckles on it.
Yeah, mine has to do with music too. My Christmas, I guess I was my 14th Christmas, or 13th Christmas, just before my 14th birthday. I got one of those wind-up plastic ukuleles with Roy Rogers on the picture of it, and it was... But the neat thing was that you could actually tune it up and play it, so I learned My Darling Clementine and all these 3-chord things with the book and the chord changes, and it went from there.
Hey, Canada! This is Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. In case you didn't recognize me, here's my face with the makeup on. Yes, and I'm here to wish you and yours and everybody a very twisted Christmas and a very, very sister New Year. Sister New Year. It's not right.
For those of you who still think that Kate Bush is something you trim in your yard in the summertime, wakey, wakey. I've been a long-time fan of Kate, and it is so nice to see Kate break in North America with her new Hounds of Love album. Kate signed to EMI Records at the tender age of 16. Her albums and singles automatically go #1 in her native Britain, where she's come to be known as the innovator of dance, theatrics, and music. With Hounds running up that hill, climbing every chart, she's now enjoying and capitalizing on her first major North American success. On behalf of Good Rockin' Tonight, Nan Devitt talked to Kate about why she left school to study dance and mime.
I think that actual decision about going for it was just before I left school, and that's why I left school. I didn't feel that I could get what I wanted out of school anymore in a way that was going to encourage me getting involved with music. I really had to leave and go into a more artistic kind of lifestyle, and dancing was a particularly good one to choose, I think. Well, when I left school, I knew very much that I wanted to go into the music business, that that's what I wanted to aim for, and I wanted to do something that would fill my day, that would be a good discipline for me, and that would be complementary to the music. And dance was something that I'd only just discovered recently at that time. And I felt that there was a whole world of expression there that I'd not experienced, and that perhaps the combination of that with singing would make an interesting performing vehicle. So I started training with a mime artist called Lindsay Kemp, who was a very big inspiration for me, and then started dancing at a school. And since then, really, through the videos, the dance has been an incredibly useful thing for me. As I've gradually gone through the business, I've become much more involved in other areas. And I found that when I worked in the studio, there were all these areas that were connected to the song that were changing it in a way perhaps that I hadn't intended when I was initially writing the song. And I felt that a natural progression for me was to get involved in production, so that then I could take much more control over the whole thing, and therefore end up with a result that I felt was my expression rather than an indirect expression through lots of other people. And again, that was a gradual thing where I went into co-production, and finding that to be pleasing and quite successful, went into producing solely.
And since then you've built a studio in your home. Can you tell me about that?
That's right. Again, that was another sort of realisation on the last album, that as I was producing and getting closer to the whole thing, I found that the way I'm working now is so experimental. It takes me a lot of time. I like to play around with ideas. And in a commercial studio, it's costing so much money every hour that I found that was becoming anti-productive. I was so nervous because I shouldn't be taking so much time playing around with things, that it was stopping me trying things. And we felt the only way really to cope with this was to have our own studio. And then also I'd be able to write in the studio and just do as much as I could there and make it all part of the same environment. He's very understanding, he's so aware of all my situation. When I stay up late, he's always waiting, but I never hesitate. Oh, I'm so worried about my love. They say no, it won't last forever. And he's here again, man with a child in his eyes. During the gap between the last and this album, I'd seen quite a few videos on television that other people had been doing, and I felt that dance, something that we'd been working in, particularly in the earlier videos in quite a full way, was being used quite trivially. It was being exploited. Haphazard images, busy, lots of dances, without really the serious expression and wonderful expression that dance can give. So we felt how interesting it would be to make a very simple routine between two people, almost classic, and very simply filmed. So that's what we tried, really, to do a serious piece of dance. Until this album, I've always treated them as individual songs, and you just work on one at a time, trying to do the best you can to get the best atmosphere across. But with this album, really wanted to try a conceptual piece, something I'd wanted to do for a while but hadn't really gone for. And I felt rather than making a whole album of it, it would be interesting to have a side that was conceptual and then make the other side a kind of counterbalance. And it was a lot of fun working like that. I'm so used to working on a piece of music that's no more than 5 minutes long. And although these are individual songs, they're all linked and they all have the same theme and atmosphere. So you're definitely working within one entity, and it was very challenging.
But you decided not to do the whole album as a concept.
Yes. I think there were a couple of reasons for that. One, I felt that half an hour was a good length of time to get involved in the story, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to make something sustain over a whole album, and that I stood a better chance of doing that with one side of it. And also, I wasn't sure if it was even going to work until I'd written a few of the songs, so it made sense for me to secure myself by writing a couple of other songs for the other side while I was working on that side.
What do you think you'll do next?
I don't know. It's a very strange point in time for me here, where I'm in the middle of promoting the album, and we'll be making videos for the next singles next year. And sometime during this period, I have to decide what I'm going to do next. There are a few things that attract me equally. Going straight into another album is something that I have a lot of enthusiasm about. And perhaps turning the conceptual side of this album into a film is an idea I'm toying with. So I'm not sure. We'll have to see what I'm feeling like at the beginning of next year. Hounds of Love is about someone who's scared of falling in love with someone, of being trapped, and sees it as a simile of a pack of hounds that are chasing them, and instead of being happy about it, are terrified, so they're just running for their life, really.
Is that something is that personal for you, or is that something you've observed about other people?
I think everyone is scared of relationships on some level or other, but actually the song in many ways was inspired by an old English black and white movie called Night of the Demon, which is just one of those great movies that managed to get through a whole phase of other movies that were incredibly corny and not effective, and has a real atmosphere about it.
Do you have a favorite album of yours, a Kate Bush album?
It's a very close tie between this and the last one. I think probably this one, the one that you've just done, is normally your most favourite, and then becomes your least favourite, and you want to get on and do something else and make it better.
What do you know about Canada?
I know very little about it. I wish that I had more time here to actually go and see the country, because it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I've only seen it on film, but it's beautiful.
And hopefully, next time around, Kate Bush will include a cross-country tour of Canada. If you want to see more of the Kate Bush interview, then swamp us with mail. Our thanks again to Nan Devitt for asking the questions. Do you want to win one of these? We've got 15 8x10 glossies, 15 posters, and 15 Hounds of Love albums for the winners of this trivia question. Listen carefully. Who was the British musician who helped Kate get her first recording contract? Now, this is the address. Good Rockin' Tonight, Post Office Box 4600, Vancouver, BC, V6B482. And don't forget to put Kate Bush on top of your letters. Several weeks ago, Foreigner dropped by to talk to and leave a trivia question for you. 5 winners will receive the 6-pack library of Foreigner albums. Congratulations to you, and thanks to all of you who entered the competition. Here's Mick and Rick.
Now, if you remember back a few weeks ago, we asked you in the trivia question, what was our first #1 single in North America? And the answer is?
I want to know what love is.
Hey, it's marvelous. Christmases, they're wonderful. I love them. Because we're both sort of born around Christmas time, or very close to Christmas. I'm a December person myself. I know Christmas, I just love them. Just love to get together with friends.
A couple of years ago, or a few years ago, our families all got together in America.
That was nice. We had a real good time.
And I tobogganed down the hill and broke my ribs. That was great for my birthday.
Hi, Bruce Dickinson here from Iron Maiden, and we would like to wish you all in Canada a very, very happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. To all our fans who saw us on the tour, it was great. We'll see you next year on the next album and all the rest of it. Again, have a happy Christmas, and thanks for the bomb. It's ticking away nicely here.
Contrary to what most people think, when I'm off the road for a while, I don't often put on the latest Iron Maiden record, you know, and just like listen to that type of music during the days, because I'm playing it every night, and sometimes it's really nice to a little bit of a break to get away from that for a while.
That's Her Majesty, the Metal Queen, 23-year-old Lee Aaron. Now, as we speak, Lee is on the tail end of a 30-date headlining tour in Germany, and they love her over there. As a matter of fact, all of Europe loves her. So much so, in fact, the Europeans have released a home concert video. It was filmed live in London, and you can't get it here, but a couple of songs from this concert can be seen on Sony Home Video's Breakin' Metal. Good Rockin' talk with Lee about her Metal Queen label.
Ever since I was yay high to a grasshopper, all I ever wanted to do really was sing. And when I was about 5 years old, I came home from school one day, and my mother said, I told her I wanted to do something for the Christmas show. I wanted to sing I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. So she taught it to me, and she said I sang just horrendously, rehearsing it for about 3 weeks. And the day came of the show, and all the parents were there, and she said I sang it great. And since then, I've been involved in a lot of theater throughout high school. I joined my first rock band when I was 15, when I was in school. And after I finished high school, I got a scholarship, actually. My parents wanted me to go to university, and I turned that down. Instead, I decided I'm going to go on the road. And that's basically how I got involved in rock, you know. When I joined a rock band when I was 15, they were, you know, back then I was listening to music like Supertramp and Pink Floyd and just more progressive type of stuff. UK, bands like that, and these guys were into Old Purple and Zeppelin, and I got corrupted and started singing rock, basically. It actually makes me quite angry, you know, sometimes when I read articles, and a lot of interviewers will say the self-titled Metal Queen. I never, that song wasn't written as an autobiographical, is that the right word, statement. It was basically, Metal Queen was a song written just sort of to be it's about a feminine power figure, something for women to sort of go, all right, and look up to, rather than, you know, there's so many men out there writing songs, making women out to be the femme fatale or the little witch who stole their heart, or, you know what I mean. And I don't know, I've managed to acquire the title. I don't know, I guess in one way it's flattering, in another way it's, I mean, I don't expect when I'm 55 to still be called the Metal Queen, you know. To me, it all depends on what you personally would class as metal or as hard rock. I mean, it's such so many bands cross over into so many different areas, you know what I mean? I mean, if you consider anything with big drum sounds and heavy guitar sounds, if you consider that heavy metal, then that's what you consider heavy metal. I don't. I consider that power rock. I mean, there's a lot of bands like Dio, for example, or Scorpions, or even Judas Priest. I guess they veer more into the metal thing. But I mean, bands like Scorpions and people like that, they're writing such melodic material. It's hard to call it heavy metal. To me, that are the speed metal bands or the black metal bands, like they call them in Europe. To me, that's more commercial hard rock or commercial power rock. I consider us more that type of music than heavy metal. Ooh. You know, because so many people associate that. I mean, you say the word heavy metal and they go, oh, garbage music. It's, you know what I mean? And it's not. I mean, let's face it, there's good and bad music in every genre or any facet of music. There's country that stinks and there's country that's good. There's the new music that's good and some of it that's bad. And there's heavy metal that's good and heavy metal that's bad, or hard rock, whatever you care to term it as. To me, I mean, people getting their heads blown off and some of these cop shows, and I mean, look at the soap operas that are on during the days, and I mean, somebody's always making somebody else pregnant or fooling around with someone else's wife. What kind of morals are those teaching young people today? To me, rock and roll videos are not nearly as bad. I mean, to me, my Metal Queen video was like your average Saturday morning flick of Wonder Woman. Some of these people on censor boards, they think if it's heavy metal or rock, that it's got something to do with Satanism or... And I mean, granted, there are some bands out there that are incorporating that type of thing into their music. That I don't agree with. I would never be writing material about things like that, but not all rock music is all about that, you know? And I don't think kids are as stupid as a lot of people seem to think that they are. I mean, I think a lot of I mean, if a child goes out or a young person goes out and walks into school with a shotgun and blows away 10 kids and a teacher, he was going to do that anyway, right? Not because he's watching a rock video. It had something to do with something was definitely very wrong in his upbringing to begin with. And I mean, I think most kids out there that are brought up properly, they know. I mean, when I was younger, I definitely knew the difference between what was fantasy and what was reality. And I mean, kids want to see fantasy. They want to see things that you don't see in everyday life, right? That's what entertainment's all about. Well, if you, the viewer out there, would like to win one of these, I don't even have one of these, okay? So we'd like you to answer a trivia question. The question is, what is the little girl in the Barely Holding On video holding in her hand? And it's not a doll.
Hi, I'm Johnny, and this is Ray. We're from Honeymoon Suite.
And we want to wish all you viewers Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And watch out for our new videos, and we'll see you sometime in '86.
Hi, this is Corey Hart, wishing everyone coast to coast in Canada a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
It's payoff time for all of you who answered the Platinum Blonde trivia question. Congratulations to the 25 winners of the Alien Shores albums, and I'll announce the grand prize winner after this.
A month ago, we asked you the question, to the people who'd come out to see our football games on our tour, what is the number on our jerseys? And you must have given the name and the number for each person in the band. So here is Kenny McLean with the answer.
Okay, now. The answers are, of course, number 4, Mark Holmes. Sergio Galli
is number
16. I know that. I know that. You don't have to tell me that a lot. Sergio Galli, number 16. Christopher Steffala is number
7. 7.
I knew that.
Chris is number 7.
Number 7.
Boy,
see, I never won.
He's doing a great job. He never wins anything.
I never win anything anyway. So, and of course, the soccer star is me, of course, Scottish, of course, Scotland.
Just give him the answer. You walloping, great rumping Wally.
Number 12.
Ready. Time now for our grand prize winner of the double platinum album from Platinum Blonde. She is Kim Magus from Thunder Bay, Ontario. Congratulations, Kim, winner of that great double platinum album. Have fun with it. A quick Christmas tip for you parents shopping for your kids. Remember that the most expensive toys break first and the cheap, noisy ones last forever.